Hey everyone, it's Lance here. Welcome back to the Epics'N'Stuffs channel. You join me on Wednesday, midweek, and there's been a couple of developments which I thought I'll probably go through today. This video should be going live probably around about Friday, I'd imagine. I've been doing a lot of recording recently. I've recorded a video on wet palettes, which should go live probably over the weekend. And as of filming this, I'll be releasing a video that I recorded a couple of days back this morning. I tend to do a little bit of recording in a chunk or over a couple of days, so I have a little bit of time to edit it, usually at once, and then I divvy them up throughout the week. So, you're not getting them too late after I've actually recorded them. I like to try and keep things as, as succinct as possible and also on time, if that makes sense. So I'm not recording a video and releasing it 2 weeks later, and by that time, it's all out of date purely because you've seen it. I'm moving the store around, I'm chopping and changing stuff, new stuff's coming in, all that jazz is happening quite quickly. And that's part of the course when you're opening a new business and you're learning a lot of things and you're wanting to change and all this type of jazz, right? So yeah, I try and get videos out as quick as possible. What I want to do in this one is I want to answer a couple of questions, and I also want to show you some stuff before the stock comes in and then probably after it comes in as well, just so that people can see, the type of stuff that goes on the daily here. Anyway, first things first, I will answer a question which was posed by Pirehawk on YouTube. Hi Pirehawk, thanks again for all the support in the past. You've commented on Discord, YouTube, I see it all. So thanks for your question. I will paraphrase this, but he wonders how and wants to know a bit more about how I actually juggle running the business, but then also doing the stuff like the Patreon, sculpting the miniatures, and that type of stuff. So it's a fresh answer because I've only been doing this I got the keys just over 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, near enough now. By the time this video goes out. And a lot of my time has obviously been dedicated to getting stock in and doing the store, getting it into its current state, but then also working every day, right? 6 days a week, plus doing some stuff on the Sundays too, as well as like interacting with customers, processing orders, all that good stuff. And then on top of that, I'm sculpting miniatures in the background. Some of them are customer commissions. Others are ones that I want to release for free on the Patreon. Others are for campaigns to obviously boost income to help run the store and also pay my rent. So how do I juggle that? In the last 2 months, very poorly, I'll be brutally honest. This might be like an artistic thing, so people in the comments, you let me know whether or not this is something you yourself experience if you do this similar type of work. I find that I need to be like in the zone when I sit down to sculpt, and you need to. I want to do it, and I'll probably want to just zone out for a couple of hours. It's the same with painting for me as well. Zone out for a couple of hours as I'm just in the zone, trying to be creative, sculpting away. In the store though, there is times that is viable, and I've done it a few times already, where I can sculpt away because there's no foot flow, there's no customers. Sometimes on a Monday morning, Tuesday morning, that's usually the case. However, there is usually there's at least somebody in every hour, and conversations, especially at this time frame where people are new to the store, and this is the first time me seeing them. We have a lot of questions, give them a bit of history. There's a lot of chat. I want to learn about their likes, dislikes. I want to know what they play, what they're working on, that type of stuff. So conversations last quite a long time. 10 minutes plus easy. And obviously, if there's 1 hour, your customer comes in, you might spend up to in some cases an hour talking to them, and then sorting the stuff out, and then processing a transaction. And then somebody else comes in after that. And then it could just be a constant flow of people. And then there's no time to sculpt, right? Or very little time. Also, those times where I'm like, yes, I can sit down and sculpt maybe for a couple of hours. Well, with the business, there's other jobs that can be done within that time as well, which would hopefully propagate into a sale at some point. So that's stuff like processing a delivery that's come in, putting it into inventory, pricing it up, putting it on the shelf, merchandising. It could be listing stuff on the website to make sure people are it's available to buy on the website. It's answering customer queries and emails. Posting on Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter. Follow me on all of them, by the way. Links in the description, blah, blah. And then, ordering stock, taking phone calls or having phone calls with distributors to try and get allocation or talk about terms and all that type of jazz. So there's a lot of that stuff that fits usually within a good amount of sculpting time. So the sculpting usually, whilst I'm here, gets deferred sometimes. There has been times where I could just sit and sculpt for hours, and the same with painting. I'll be honest though, not as much as I originally thought I would have. That's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because we've been busier than I originally anticipated. Like I've mentioned, we beat my first month's projection. We doubled it in the first 2 weeks, and so far weeks since have been trending upwards. I mean, that will hit a plateau, and I'm sure it'll probably hit it this month. But as more stock comes in, the hope is that gets higher, right? So that's the good thing. The bad thing is obviously all my sculpting stuff has taken a backseat whilst I'm in the store. I then go home and I need to pinch myself. I'm going to sculpt. My office is an absolute mess because a lot of it was pulled out fixing wise to come to the store. Some of them paints and stuff like that. I still have a painting set up in my office at home. I still have my main PC is actually still there with all my monitors and stuff. You may have seen it in some older videos, right? My painting desk is still there. It's just there's a lot of like boxes and fixings and bits and bobs just laid everywhere, and I've not really had the time to tidy it up because on the Sundays or when I get home, I'm usually crashing because I'm tired. And I might want to just take a moment for myself to watch an episode of TV or watch Suzanne play a game or something. Or I sometimes do listings and posts and stuff like that at night. Video editing at night. And on a Sunday, currently, I've been running errands, right? Trying to do a little bit of gardening if I can, because otherwise it grows crazy and I need to get on top of it again. Maintenance on cars, because I like to do my own maintenance on cars, but that might become a thing of the past. I also like to, I've been doing other business stuff as well, right? Like, going and seeing whether or not there's any, upcoming units that I might be able to move into, or, just going out, researching in other stores. I do a lot of that on Sunday, and then I'm back to work on Monday. So, I get very little time currently for sculpting at home. Now, I imagine within time, I'll probably get into a rhythm or a routine where I can actually just dedicate a few hours here, a few hours here, a few hours here on a more consistent basis. But at the moment, there's just everything pecking for my attention. So sometimes sculpting does fall by the wayside, and I end up having to just like condense it and pinch myself and force myself to do it in a couple of days. So that's why on the Patreon, whereas I used to post every other day with works in progress and stuff that I was working on, now you probably all find it just happens in the last couple of days before a release, because that's when I've allocated myself time to do it. Do you know what I mean? Or that's when I've found the time to do it. So to answer your question originally, Piehawk, how am I juggling it all? I hope that answers it. But in a nutshell, very badly. But it will get better, I'm sure. So yeah, that's that. Let's move on to the next thing. I'm going to switch the camera around and you can have a see what I've done, because I've been messing around with the store layout again. So apologies for needing to move around. I'll try and keep it as still as possible. I'll go into the wide angle here as well so we can get an idea of what's going on. You may notice this has changed a little bit. So an extra tier has been added here. This tier, I've scavenged it from somewhere else, but it's filled with some new stock. So we've got some of our own boxes now. terrain crate stuff by Mantic Games has arrived. So we've got some sci-fi stuff and some of the more fantasy orientated stuff. I've showed you the Bolt Action, Moonstone, and War Machine, but yeah, more miniature stuff is getting crammed into this on the regular. So, you know, keep checking back. Epics'N'Stuffs stuff there, Steamforged game stuff, got some Halo Flashpoints, Fallout, Adventures, the Doggy Adventures and the Cat Adventure stuff. All great. So move around here, change this up a bit. We've got the speed paints up here, more paints and accessories down here. And this area is probably going to be allocated for something in the near future. Clue as to what that might be is already on it. It'll be basing materials, I think. I think that is where I'm going to put hopefully a stand of something like that. It might have like, you know, the pastes or the type of paints that are conducive to obviously basing stuff up. So you'll have your primers, basing materials, and then you'll go into paints and speed paints. So yeah. Paints and accessories, we know about that. That unit has made its way there. Vallejo there, wet palettes, Duncan Roads toothing coats, some more paints and more like painting accessory type things. So like MDF stands to put your dropper bottles in, your Citadel things in, brush holders and stuff. Brushes, got some brushes out there. And I'm just going to flip over to the other side. So now you have more hobby tools and accessories making the way here. Need to get rid of that shelf. Dungeons and Dragons WizKids miniatures here. I also have some over here as well, some of the larger beasts. But yeah, another unit has made its way up here, so that's been heightened. So this has allowed me to get like, you know, more pegs shelving, because these were against the wall originally or out facing out the window. So now I can put more stuff on the back of these. Do need to, I've not bolted it all together proper yet, so it's a bit swingy, but it's sturdy enough. I just need to tie them all together to make sure it's super sturdy. And let's walk through this way. Clearances remain the same. I've made some space there, you know, for the last video, maybe alluding to what my intent is for that space. I think it might be end up being like Pokemon cards, sleeves, that type of stuff. I might, if I can't get hold of the cards right away, I might preempt the arrival of something like that with, you know, the likes of like card holders, boxes, cases, and all that jazz. So then when people do come in and they see that, they'll know that it's something that I'm gonna stock soon. Running thin on space walls now. As when this video goes live, I think they're going to be released the day after. So anything remaining will go into stock. Everything else has been reserved. We're out of Terminators. We're out of Logan Grimnar. We've got an Arjak Rockfist left, a couple of Stormcallers, a Battle Leader left, a couple of Wolf Priests, and then I think a couple of boxes of each of the other units, so Blood Claws, only one box of Grey Hunters and 2 boxes of Head Takers. The rest has been reserved and boxed up to be sent. So I'm recording this Wednesday. We usually send them out on the Thursday or the Friday in the hope that they get there for when the release goes live, right? For everybody else, you can select on the pre-order part of the store, the collect at store, and then you can collect it when it's released, of course. So we've got some people coming in on Saturday. Oh, we also have the drop pod still. And some of the new Ideneth Deepkin. I didn't go crazy on ordering loads of that. We've not sold through every pre-order that we've got in the past, and it's always gone into stock. So with AOS obviously being a smaller game, popularity-wise to 40k, I only went with a couple of the boxes for that. The next release though, which I'll talk about shortly, I did the opposite. So this is how the GW stuff is looking at the moment. As you can see, it's a lot fuller. We've got some of the Kill Team and other games like Blood Blow, Necromunda, Middle Earth shelved there. We've got some of the stuff as well on the top. We've got the Cathay and all the other old world jazz, Chaos, High Elf, Wood Elf there for now. And as you can see, the 40k stand is starting to really fill up now, along with some of our miniatures there. Yeah. So I'm happy with that and the way that's coming along. I've got more stuff coming today or tomorrow. I can't remember which. I think it's might be tomorrow actually. That will help fill that even further. But then that begs the question: what's happening with all this new space here? So I'm a complete mark. I've gone for the the Horus Heresy version of this FSDU as well, in anticipation of the Saturn release. Right, as we all know, by the time this video goes live, you know it's going to be up for pre-order on the following Saturday. So the Saturday after this video goes live, I think. Ignore all that if obviously this video goes up later or earlier, but yeah, so I think this FSDU or this space here will be perfect either for the FSDU for Horus Heresy, which will have a selection of goods from the range, plus ultimately when it's released, the Saturn box and some of the new releases, yeah? Until then, the Saturn boxes won't go in the FSDU. It does come with more stuff, just like the old one did, to bulk out the range, right? So that means I'll be stocking, yes, Horus Heresy stuff. I won't be stocking the entire range because, you know, that range is massive. It's very expensive. It's massive, and it could fit this entire wall. But I'll be able to, or I'll probably list to order some of the stuff, and then have a selection in store too. But that's not all. So I went ahead and I've ordered the paint rack for GW paints, right? So I'm getting the rack earlier with a selection of paints. So some of these paints will go into there, and I've bought, I think, like a third, if I remember right, of the paints that go in there. And then next week I'll buy more, the week after I'll buy more. So it'll fill up over time, but you'll start seeing a selection and the rack being built. It'll either be put there or be put here. It depends. That's the perfect width for it there. So it would fill that right up, but then it would maybe obscure some of the shelving here. I don't know yet. I'm going to have to build it and then play around with it, and it'll all come at once with the FSDU, so I'll have all the units in that I need to see. But yeah, Horus Heresy stuff and GW paint stuff and tools, yeah. All good. What else have I done? I've ordered a chunk more of these, of acrylic shells, which are just a bit deeper. Again, I got them used secondhand from the guy I actually bought these original shells from. These have done really well. They've served their purpose. That, you know, I'm not getting rid of them. They're going to still be used in the store, but it means we can start putting stuff a bit higher now. You know, stuff that doesn't sell anywhere near as frequently, maybe, or you know, stuff that's big box that we just want to put high up to store. So that will be cool. And I've also ordered some slat wall metal baskets with the aim of being able to take, say, you know, GW boxes like this, and then they'll go in it vertical like that. So you'll have baskets which could sit with loads of these in, meaning that by the time I fill this up, by the time I fill these up, I'll be able to just put overflowing baskets, or you know, take some of the other games out like Kill Team, Necromunda, and they can go in their own baskets as well, probably above. But we'll see. No doubt. I don't know what version of the store I'm on now. This is like 5.0. It will get rejigged again. I can absolutely guarantee you that. Just to maximise space, get the stock in, and it becomes your inventory, your store becomes also your warehouse in that sense. So I'll be picking stuff from this and yeeting it out when people place orders. And then the hope is you know, this will be crammed, you know, in short order. You know, give it another couple of months and then see where it's at. Right, be very interesting to contrast and compare what day one looked like of opening the store to what it currently looks like, or after I'm finished, to what it will look like in 6 months' time, 2 months' time. You know what I mean? Anywho, let's turn the camera back around. So quite a lengthy walk round, quite a lengthy question and answer, but what I want to show you as well, and we'll cut to it, is the after. So once I've set up the paint rack, once I've set up the Horus Heresy stuff, we'll take a little bit of a recording of that, and then we'll see out the video, right? So join me there. Okay, so it's the next day. Now, yesterday was busy for a few reasons. One, we had a chunk of customers flow in. So there was a lot of talking and stuff like that going on. I apologise to any of the customers who did pop in yesterday in the store. Partly it was a bit of a mess because of the large delivery and the unit being built, but it's the only real time I have to do it, so it is what it is. Otherwise there'll just be large boxes just stacked everywhere. Anyway, yeah, I built the units, I've sorted reservations, I've priced the stock, I've put it out, blah blah blah. It's all good, and yeah, I'm happy with the way it's coming. So let's have a look. So as you can see, that's the Horus Heresy FSDU I was mentioning. So I've got a chunk of HH stuff now, some 30k stuff, which is good. You'll notice behind me as well, some Saturn boxes. These are chunk. If you've not already seen them, they're heavy, which makes sense. You get a lot of models in there, right? So we've got some books and some additional rewards for people who either spend over a certain amount or pre-order the Horus Heresy Saturn box. I've got a chunk of those rewards, but obviously because I'm of my size, I've not got shed loads of the Saturn box. But so I don't know whether or not I'm going to do this yet. So if you pre-order the Saturn box, you'll get one of those medallion rewards, and if you spend over X amount, I think probably something similar to the lines of the box, so it could be like £200 thereabouts, you'll get it as well. But I'll need more stock. So there's that Horus Heresy stuff that's coming. It looks cool on the shelf. We've got loads more stock that came in here, but then also the paint rack. Yay! So you may have remembered on this rack here, it had some of the foundation range of paints, some of the Chaos Black and stuff like that, brushes, dice. That's all got moved over to the rack now, and a chunk of paints came in that delivery as well. So yeah, there you go. The rack was built. It's a heavy boy. Let me just plant the camera. So yeah, it looks cool, right? Well, I think it does anyway. But the store is starting to look real chocker now, which is good again. But also also makes me go, I need a bigger place again. More and more paints will come in just over time. I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone. All this stuff is quite expensive, right? So my budget only goes so far. So every week I'm going to place an order to get more and more paints to help fill up that rack, so that in X amount of weeks it'll be full completely of stock. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to say I've done my customer reservations as of today. Customer pre-orders for Space Wolves are being sent out, which is cool. So the pre-order cycle is moving full swing type of thing. The gears are running. But with that, I'm probably going to call this video done. In the next video, I'll answer some more questions. So if you have any questions, get them to me quick. This video should probably go live on the Friday. I'll probably record the questions video when I come in on the Saturday morning. So if you've got any questions, get them to me as fast as you can, and I will peer through them. I've already got some good ones, or what I feel are good ones, or ones that I want to answer, and then I can tack any onto that you guys might come up with today. Again, check out the store, check out online. We've got more stuff coming in all the time. We've got paints now, Horus Heresy. The Saturn box will go up for pre-order. We've got some Cathay left. We've got some Space Wolves left. IDNF Deakin. We've still got a set of drop pods, and loads more in the regular range, right? And if if people are after something specific from the store, you can always do that. And also you can purchase online and collect in store if you're local. So yeah, good stuff. Patreon, My Mini Factory, like, subscribe, all that good YouTube and support accoutrement. Your support is very much appreciated. But anyway, there's my spiel. I will leave it there. It's a long video. I'll see you out. Have fun. Take care and speak soon.